has recently published a detailed article about Boko Haram, which is a terrorist group operating in Chad and Nigeria. Now, they kidnap foreign workers to get ransom from their countries as well as their employers. But according to a niche insurance company in South Africa, employers should not only ensure their employees' safety when traveling, but also have a kidnap and ransom insurance to further ensure that they retrieve their workers safely. This insurance company says kidnapping practices on the continent is a growing concern. But joining us this morning to take this discussion further is Dave Honeyman from SHA Specialist Underwriters to talk to us about this specific insurance. Good morning to you, and thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you very much.
Now, let's just first get an understanding of this insurance cover, insurance policy. What is it and how does it work?
Effectively, it's a policy that covers a company for a potential loss or financial loss of somebody kidnapping their employee whilst they're overseas on business or on holiday. And effectively, so if we look at the African continent right now, there's a lot of growth opportunities for businesses, and a lot of South African companies are expanding their operations into Africa and sending a lot of expats into Africa to work on opportunities that arise out of there. There are roughly 20,000 kidnappings on an annual basis around the globe, and it's estimated that around 30 of those happen on the African continent.
Sure.
It's also estimated that only 1 in 5 are actually reported to the police or to the to the media. So, I mean, that means that we could be looking at roughly 100,000 kidnappings on an annual basis.
That happens, yeah. So which makes it pivotal for businesses to have such an insurance policy?
Yeah, so what would you do if you are the spouse of an individual and you get a phone call from some faction group saying, we have your husband and we would like $10 million to free him? So the kidnap and ransom insurance is more around the controlled risks around how to manage the crisis. So on the back of the policy, you have crisis management team who are professionals in there. So they've either got military or police or special forces type training, and they assist the family or the company in making sure that they deal with those kidnappers on a professional basis and that they know how to manage that crisis for them.
And you were telling me earlier on that this policy has always been in existence for many years, but are businesses and companies aware of it?
Unfortunately, I don't think they are.
Yeah.
So there's obviously an education process that we need to go through and basically highlight the risks of this to companies. Companies should speak to their insurance brokers because all insurance brokers are aware of a kidnap and ransom policy. I don't think a lot of them take it very seriously because they think, well, it's not going to happen to us, but it is happening. You just look at the stats and it is happening. And there's a massive risk to the business for not ensuring that you have a duty of care to your employees and their families in the event of something happening.
But I believe, on the other hand, it should be handled with sensitivity, especially if you look at the confidentiality of such a policy. It's got to be a priority. For example, only particular people should be aware of such a policy.
That is a catch-22. So a lot of companies don't tell their employees that they have a kidnap and ransom policy because the last thing you want is for people that are doing the kidnapping to know that you have. It's like wearing a big T-shirt. Please come hijack me. So there are massive sensitivities around it. It is important, however, that, if I were traveling, I would want my family to know that there was a number that they could phone, just in the event, because, they will be in shock and they'll want to know exactly what's happening and how I can be assisted. So it's important just that the company has procedures and protocols in place to mitigate the risks and to ensure that there is some kind of plan to make sure that when something does happen, that they are ready for it and that they have people in the background that can assist them.
Yeah, but have you personally dealt with cases where South Africans were kidnapped and held for ransom, maybe?
Not personally.
Not personally,
So the controlled risks team get involved there, and then they manage that process from start to finish.
But would you encourage just big businesses to have such a policy, or any other business, even if it's just a small and
The stats actually show. So in the past, it was mostly your expats and World Aid Organization employees and journalists. purely because the kidnappers knew that there was big money behind it. But the stats have now shown that what used to be 1 in 5 tourists or people that just go there on a quick business trip has now increased to 1 in 3 people that just go on holiday or go on a quick business trip are now also being targeted by these individuals. So it's not just a big business issue. Smaller businesses, individuals that will be traveling into Africa should seriously consider looking at a kidnap and ransom.
Yeah, so it's something that all business should have.
Yeah.
They actually owe it to their employees.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
And to themselves and their shareholders. You know, this can have a massive financial impact on your business. You know, if they are asking for $1 million US, do you have it?
And you
just
don't have it at
waiting?
hand. Yeah. We'll leave it at that for now, but thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. There you have it. That's Dave Honeyman from SHA Specialist Underwriters talking to us about this ransom kidnap insurance that he says all companies, small or big, should have it to make sure that their employees are safe. Let's take a break here on Morning Live. There's still so much more to come. Stay tuned.